Are you an agent struggling to understand real estate economics? Would you benefit from learning how top agents structure their businesses? Then you've come to the right place. And it's time for the Nerdy Agent Podcast Business Tip of the Week.
Business tip.
Business tip. I think we're going to get through this one on one take today instead of four like last week. Today we are going to talk about...
Please like, subscribe if you love our singing.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us everywhere.
Yeah. Every follow we get, we will sing.
Send us an email. We're going to go quick. This is quick. Today we're going to talk about the differences between virtual staging, limited staging, and full furniture staging for your sellers, and which of these three might make sense in different situations. So tell us about the differences, guys.
Yeah, I mean, so I will start by saying I'm a huge proponent of staging. As a listing agent, it's highly important, specifically if you have a house that is either poorly furnished, not you're ever going to tell your seller that, but that is vacant. It's necessary. So if you ever tried to sell a house vacant, it's terrible. I've told many clients they need to stage their house, and some of them haven't listened, and it hasn't gone as well for them. So there is a huge benefit to staging. I think that studies show about 20% more in terms of purchase price if you've staged a house versus a vacant house.
I'm sure there's some stat out there that says that.
That's the full furniture staging that you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think the one you're missing though, Luke, is the staging of the seller's furniture.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I just realized that as well.
So that's an important one too. I would say when you go through them, right, you look at virtual staging, and we've done this before in the right scenario because it's pretty affordable. I think we pay like $35 per photo with Box Brownie. So if you're looking for a good company, they're out of the UK. They do a really awesome job. It looks like there's real furniture there.
At checkout, code word Nerdy Agent Podcast will get you 0% discount.
But the one thing that I've gotten feedback on with virtual staging is they see the pictures, they get very interested, and then they get to the house, and they're like, "This feels way different than the pictures look."
You at least get them in the door, right?
Yes, yeah. That's the goal, right? And
you never want to disappoint people.
No, and I think that the price point depends too. I think on limited staging, I had one seller that our stager, shout out Melanie.
What is limited staging?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
Shout out Melanie. She came in and she brought in like a shelf, some throw blankets. She staged the countertops in the bathrooms, in the kitchen,
Flowers.
a few flowers here and there, and it really made a huge difference. But Josh, you've had people do full furniture staging.
Yep, quite a few times. And so the biggest thing with that is if the house is vacant, which we have some investor clients or people that moved out of state, the house is empty. So it's really important to make sure that house is going to pop the same way a normal house would be that's got people's furniture in it. And so bringing in a full furnished staging, it can cost anywhere from $3,000 I think in the low end for a house that's probably a couple thousand square feet, upwards to $5,000 to $6,000, $7,000 if you have a bigger house right now. So we're staging a 5,500 square foot house right now. It's like $6,000 or $7,000. But it makes such a big difference in terms of the way people experience that house. If you walk into a house and it's empty, it just feels cavernous and kind of cold and a little bit sad, and you just don't want those emotions to be what buyers are picking up on as they walk through those homes.
Do you think the price point of the house makes a difference on if sellers should choose to do full furniture? Because that's the most expensive option. Right?
If it's vacant, I would recommend everybody stages their house. A vacant house is just going to, you've walked through buyers with vacant houses. That buyers do not have vision for what a house should look like. So even if you're at the $300,000 price point, I would recommend doing some, maybe not full furnished, but maybe you do the master bedroom and maybe you do the kitchen and you do an office space or something like that. You don't do the basement. But as the price points get higher, it becomes more important because a 1% discount off of that sell price is a much bigger number. And so that $3,000 to $7,000 becomes justified very, very quickly in terms of a payback.
And I think the one that we didn't fully get into too that I want to talk about is the just staging their own furniture, because this is the cheapest option. You have them come over for an hour. Let's just say you pay them a couple $100, and they tell you where to put stuff or what to remove and what to put out.
Yeah, I mean, the important thing, and this is what I talk to sellers about at a listing presentation, is I say, I get 10 seconds to wow people on the internet. My job's to market your home. My job's to make sure that we get it prepared as well as possible. We have the best photography taken. We get it out in front of as many people. But at the end of the day, I get about 10 seconds of their attention while they're scrolling through listings, like they're scrolling through Instagram, right? Once they walk in the door, hopefully I get them to a showing. Once they walk in the door, you, seller, get about 30 seconds for them to have some sort of impact. They might walk in 30 seconds on a vacant house and be like, this feels cold and dark.
Yep.
I don't like that.
Yep.
Right? Whereas when they walk into one that's staged, the one that I just sold that I've talked about was really nicely staged. And you walked in, you're like, oh, I can see how the rooms have dimension. I can see where the table would go. I can see how the spacing is between things and how the walkways all look. All very important things to make a buyer feel like, yeah, I could move in and live here, right? And I tell people all the time, I heard this once, that you want your house to feel like an Airbnb. Stagers almost always perfectly capture that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your business tip of the week on the Nerdy Agent Podcast.
Business tip.
Business tip.